Sagittarius. I haven't done a weekly reading yet, so I decided to do one so I could introduce the astrology dice. Now, I pulled 3 cards, and they're not in any particular order, like past, present, or future, or anything like that. And the 3 astrology dice are in front of the cards, and the one on the left represents the zodiac signs. The one in the center is planets or lunar nodes, and the one on the right is the houses. Now you can think of this more like a game for personality, plot, and place. For example, the clue game. Colonel Mustard with the knife in the conservatory. Now I'll be doing a tarot reading first, and then I'll be doing a combined reading with the astrology dice. So in essence, you're receiving not only a tarot reading, but a horoscope. The 3 cards that you received are the Emperor, the Page of Swords, and the Six of Swords. You know, this is about communication, all 3 of them. Swords is air and communication and words. And the Emperor, too, is about words, spoken and written for rules and regulations. Now let's talk about the Page of Swords first, though. This page brings thoughts, ideas, and opinions, as well as news and messages. He's been bestowed with mental acuity, and I consider him the brainiac of the sword suit. But you know, he has a really immature attitude towards things, and he doesn't have any emotional control, and he has very little experience. He's the kind of guy that just says jaw-dropping things that's very insulting to people. It might be a virtue to be honest, but you just can't have candor like that. He wants you to reevaluate your goals to make sure that they're realistic. But then again, he'd prefer to ask forgiveness before he would go ahead and just ask permission to do something. As with all of the sword suits, though, there's 2 edges to a sword, and the negative side of this is that there can be some acts of deception. And he's kind of a spy master kind of guy that runs around and tries to get information on people, dirt on people, so he can start rumors and gossip. That can be very injuring and harmful to other people. And at times he lacks diplomacy. He really isn't the kind of guy that you want as a neighbor or a co-worker. You know, when he walks into a party, and as usual, uninvited, everybody goes, "Oh no." Now the Emperor is completely opposite to that. He's the mature man, or the patriarch of the family, that organizes things and puts things into structure. Makes sure everybody has responsibilities. And then sets rules and regulations for boundaries. So everybody knows what's going on, and they're on the same page. You know, the Page of Swords and the Emperor is kind of like the satire of the devil and the angel on your shoulders, and the Page of Swords is saying, just go for it, the hell with everybody else, and the Emperor's going, no, you have to make some considerations. Now the Emperor has emotional control, and the Page of Swords is just learning how to deal with emotional control. Now, so it's up to you and your free will which persona you would like to take, the Page of Swords or the Emperor. And it seems like this week maybe you're vacillating in between both of them. You know, you can be this immature child one minute and be this really mature man or woman the next. Whatever you decide this week, you're going to be moving from more turbulent waters to more tranquil waters, because you received the Six of Swords. So hopefully you're moving from the Page of Swords persona to the Emperor's posture. Whatever it is, the Six of Swords is telling you it's time to plot a new course of action. And think about where you've been and what you're doing now and where you want to go in the future. And this card is here to help you with a seamless transition of change. And since this card is about movement, it can be maybe you traveling, going on vacation, going on an adventure or journey. But this doesn't have to be a physical journey. It can be a journey of the mind, too, and your thinking and mental acuity. Because the swords does mean mind, and it means mind over matter. And really, you have to decide what matters to you in your life. Now, I rolled the dice and you received Capricorn, the moon, in the 11th house. Now, with the moon in the 11th house, it makes me think of the Beatles song, Need a Little Help from Your Friends. Because that kind of sums up your emotional fulfillment that comes from this week. It's from friends and family and their support. You know, you figure that there must be an easier and better way of doing business. That's why you've got the Six of Swords there, because you want to move on. And you're seeking out these new ways with the Emperor by your side. You know, and you figure, well, realistically, you can't do all this alone, so you're going to take the me attitude and add we into the party because of the 11th house. It's a house of networking and other people. Your inquiring mind wants to know about many things this week, and you feel the need for opinions and feedback from others because you're really not too sure what to think. And I can see that when you're straggling the line between the Emperor and the Page of Swords, you're not sure what to think. However, even though you canvass and ask people for their opinions, sometimes you just don't agree with their opinion, and then you become really mouthy with them like the wily Page of Swords. And you become insulting. So then, you know, the teamwork goes back from we to me. You know, by the end of the week, you might not feel like you've completely resolved all the issues that you canvassed. But that's no big deal. You know, I mean, next week's another week. Now, you keep changing your moods this week, and they're off the map for some reason. And I think that's because of the presence of the swords, the Page of Swords. This is causing instability in relationships. And your feelings are like waxing and waning of the moon's phases. And the Six of Swords is telling you to move on from these turbulent mood changes to more tranquil, stable, emotional moods. You know, to you this week, strength is found in numbers with open-minded humanitarian thinking. That comes from the 11th house. Now, on the 29th, Mars opposes Saturn. It kind of puts a screeching halt on your ambitions. You're going to have to wait till things clear a little bit, and that'll be on the 31st, when Mars sextiles Uranus. And it brings kind of the ingenious you out. And it puts together more nebulous and scattered thoughts, so that no longer you have these kind of roadblocks going on. Then the remainder of the week is really about family and friends and strengthening bonds with them. But just speak gentle words and drop some of the emotional intensity that you had earlier in the week. And I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.